In the Arctic, there is this creature named the woolly bear caterpillar. But the woolly bear is no ordinary caterpillar. This insect spends 90% of its life encapsulated in an icy tube. In the spring, our friend the woolly bear eats, works, collects as many nutrients as possible to prepare for its upcoming transformation. But the Arctic summer is short and winter is coming. And so the woolly bear is not ready for its transformation. So what does it do? It hides. The woolly bear hides from Arctic predators, hides from the harsh Arctic winds, but he cannot hide from the cold. So the sun sets, the winter comes, and the Arctic ice crawls across the surface, all the way into the core of our friend, the woolly bear. First, its gut freezes. Then its blood freezes. He stops breathing and his heart stops beating. Then the sun rises, the spring comes, and the ice melts away. And our friend, the woolly bear, goes right back to work, works, eats, and collects as many nutrients as possible in order to prepare for its upcoming transformation. But wait, how is that possible? How is he able to survive the harsh Arctic cold? Glycerol. Glycerol is a chemical that is created by the woolly bear's body to protect it. It uses it as an antifreeze. Just like the antifreeze you use in your car, the glycerol in the woolly bear protects its cells from the cold so that they do not freeze and end the woolly bear's life. So at the end of this cycle, it goes through the cycle every year for 14 long years. And then finally, at the end of the 14 years, he's ready for his transformation, and so he spins himself a silk cocoon, goes through his transformation, and emerges as a beautiful woolly bear moth. But he has not much time, for the Arctic summer is short, and winter is coming. So he flits across the surface looking for another woolly bear moth. And as we've been following the story of our woolly bear friend, another woolly bear moth has been going through the same process. So she emerges from her cocoon, she flits across the surface to find her partner, and she finds our friend, and they mate and they progress their species. So we can learn a lesson from the woolly bear. So as the woolly bear uses the glycerol to get it through the hardest times in its life, we as humans have used intelligence to get us through ours. If you look in this hall to your right and to your left, you see men and women heralded for their advancement of scientific discovery. As Charlie Chaplin famously said, we must create a world where science and progress lead to all humanity's happiness. And if we take the lesson from the woolly bear, we can make that progress together.
Is it always exactly 14 years?
About if they survive, yeah.
Because if it was exactly 14 years, then wouldn't that do something weird in terms of evolution? Because they could only mate with their cadre of every 14-year woolly bears, and then there's going to be other ones in other years that they would never genetically have any connection with. Is that true?
And so there are woolly bears every year coming out, so there is that separation. And so it's a great point. It would effectively, theoretically change their evolutionary paths as they continue on. Yeah.
Weird.
I just can't even imagine why they would even bother. I mean, it just seems like they ought to move somewhere warmer to get past this. But, well, I know. So is there something that depends on the woolly bear, either the caterpillar or the moth, that in the ecosystem that is the reason why they have to go through this?
That's a great question. The plants that they eat actually are just all over the Greenland side. So they do eat a lot of the planets. As for other animals in the area, I'm not quite sure. So, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm seeing a theme here. You know, Daniel was talking about Titan and methane, and that there might be other solvents that we associate with life. And then you come out and you tell me about glycerol and how that is this other solvent that's helping keep this, or maybe not solvent, but this compound keeping this caterpillar from freezing. So is it, you said that it's blood freezes, so where is the glycerol in this critter's body?
The glycerol's in its cells. It's throughout the whole creature.
Okay.
And so, to my understanding, it's not just glycerol. It's just one of the antifreezes. It has a bunch of different antifreezes, but glycerol's the main one. And so it's what helps it keep it from totally like cracking and yeah. It can survive winters up to -70 degrees. So it can go pretty close.
And 14 of them.
Yeah, but 14 winters that way. Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.